Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're going to fundamentally reframe one of history's most misunderstood thinkers. We're tossing out literally centuries of academic baggage and looking directly at the ancient manuscript itself. Guided by the book Thus Spoke Heraclitus and the incredibly strict translations from the Scribe of Ephesus, get ready to completely rethink how you view the world around you. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty terrifying premise. What if the words you and I use every single day to describe our lives are actually lying to us? I know, it sounds wild, right? But as we'll see, it's a concept that two of ancient Greece's greatest philosophical rivals shockingly agreed upon.
But before we go any further, we really need to define a crucial term. When Heraclitus was observing the world, he was trying to study what the Greeks called physis, or nature. But here's the catch. Physis isn't some static, fixed object. No, it's a living, flowing, moving, and often totally hidden reality. To study something that dynamic, you need a tool that can capture all that motion without, killing it in the process.
So, to break down this dense epistemology, here is our roadmap for the explainer. 1. The flaw in ordinary speech. 2. Heraclitus, the first epistemologist. 3. Logos as a formal system. 4. An unexpected ally in Parmenides. And 5. The hidden harmony.
Let's start right off with Section 1, the flaw in ordinary speech, and exactly why our daily words lie to us.
So think about ordinary speech. It essentially uses these dead, separate little boxes to categorize things. It says, this is day and that is night, as if they're completely isolated from each other. But reality, or physis, is constantly flowing, it's deeply connected, and it's full of hidden tension. Our daily words basically chop up a unified, flowing world into a bunch of fragmented, static lies. It's kind of like trying to capture a rushing river by just taking a picture of a glass of water.
Looking directly at the Scribe of Ephesus's strict translation of fragment DK22b2, we see Heraclitus taking aim at this exact issue. He points out that most people sleepwalk through life, trapped in their own private, flawed language. They think they understand the world, sure, but they're really just using careless, fragmented words to build a private understanding. And honestly, that private understanding has absolutely nothing to do with how the universe actually operates.
Because ordinary speech is so clumsy and static, Heraclitus notes in DK22b12 that nature loves to hide. I mean, the true nature of things remains completely concealed from us if we only look at the surface level using plain language. Physis actively resists being pinned down by our everyday vocabulary.
Moving right along to Section 2, Heraclitus, the first epistemologist, where we're moving past the whole mystic of flux myth.
So the crucial point here is that to see his true identity, we literally have to strip away 2,500 years of misreading. As Thus Spoke Heraclitus points out, by adopting the strict lens of the Scribe of Ephesus, ignoring all that later academic baggage, and relying strictly on the raw DK fragments as our clues, we don't find some obscure mystic. Nope. We reveal a rigorous epistemologist at work, someone who is deeply, deeply concerned with how we know what we know, and the specific tools we use to study reality.
Now, because ordinary language completely fails us, Heraclitus had to invent a totally new way to communicate. Instead of plain speech, he used what are called sēmata, or signs. It's actually a lot like the Oracle of Delphi, who neither speaks plainly nor conceals. Heraclitus deliberately used these tense, ambiguous expressions. Why? Because these signs are designed to shock the listener. They literally force your mind to wake up from its linguistic sleepwalking and actively grasp the living movement of reality.
And this is a really fascinating contrast. It turns out an ambiguous sign is actually far more accurate for studying nature than a clear, straightforward sentence. Plain speech just kills the tension of reality. It puts things in dead boxes. A sign, however, keeps that living tension alive. It demands your active interpretation, forcing your mind to move in the exact same way that nature itself moves.
Which brings us perfectly to Section 3, Logos as a formal system. This is his ultimate solution to flawed language.
In the very opening of his manuscript, fragment DK22b1, he reveals the Logos. And guys, this is absolutely crucial. It is not mere speech or a simple account. It is a strict, formal system used to surgically separate and understand reality. He talks about dividing each thing according to its kind. The Greek word here is diaireōn, which means a sharp, revealing cut that ultimately discloses the hidden unity of the world.
Let's look at how this builds into a strict method for the Logos. Step 1. We must cut cleanly through the confusion of the world according to nature, not human convenience. Step 2. We must simultaneously hold the hidden attunement together, really recognizing how opposites rely on each other. And step 3. We just have to stay awake and expect the unexpected.
Fragment DK22b51 captures this method so perfectly. Think of a bow and a lyre. Just as the string pulls in the exact opposite direction of the wood of a bow to give the weapon its power, the Logos holds opposites in a living, necessary tension. Without that backstretched connection, the bow is completely useless, right? Well, without holding opposites together in our minds, our understanding of reality is just as useless.
All right, brace yourselves for Section 4, an unexpected ally, Parmenides. This is the great philosophical plot twist.
Historically, these two guys are viewed as polar opposites. You've got Heraclitus on one side, championing this endless flux, this ever-living fire where everything is in constant flow. And on the other side, you have Parmenides, arguing for a static, unchanging, unmoving universe. I mean, for centuries, scholars have pitted them against each other in this epic battle of becoming versus being.
But here's the crazy part. When we strip away the later academic interpretations and just place their raw manuscripts side by side, we see they actually completely agreed on a fundamental epistemological level. They both recognize that sensory illusion and ordinary mortal speech are massive traps. They shared the exact same thesis. You absolutely cannot trust daily language to understand reality.
Just as Heraclitus demanded we abandon ordinary words and listen to the Logos, Parmenides insisted on a strict, formal discipline of thought to escape what he called the wandering, two-headed confusion of mortals. In fragment DK28b2, Parmenides outlines these rigid ways of inquiry. Both of these brilliant philosophers realized the exact same thing. To study reality, you need an uncompromising, formal system of thinking to slice right through the lies of everyday language.
Finally, Section 5, the hidden harmony. This is where we bring the entire epistemological vision together.
The ultimate takeaway from the scribe's analysis here is that there is absolutely no separation between the ordering principle of the Logos and reality itself. Think about that for a second. The world doesn't have a Logos. The world is the Logos. Therefore, the method we use to study nature must be nature's own method. True thinking is allowing our minds to move in the exact same way the world orders itself.
As Heraclitus beautifully states in DK22b50, the goal isn't to become a disciple of a man, but an active participant in reality. When you drop your own private opinions, when you finally stop relying on the dead boxes of ordinary speech, and you really tune in to this formal system of the Logos, all that tension resolves. You realize the fundamental backstretched unity of everything.
So I want to leave you with this final, vital question to ask yourself. The next time you try to describe the world around you, or observe a complex problem, or even just have a casual conversation, ask yourself, are you thinking with the Logos, holding the tension of reality, or are you just sleepwalking through words? The choice between waking up and staying asleep is entirely yours.